In this video, I'll be talking about the term manipulate. I say that a lot, and I realized I never explained it. To understand this video, you don't need to watch any other video. I will mention a lot of things that you might want to look into. That will be in my fixing playlist. You can see all of those playlists in the description, or if you want to see the fixing 101 one alone, you can look above my head. So when I say manipulate, it's just a fancy way of saying you want to toy around with it. You want to customize it to what you need it to be. You need to change these percentages. You need to get a bunch of these materials so you can combine it all together. It's a lot of things. It's not an actual in-game word like upslotting and like slot numbers and augmenting, affixing SAFs, S-class abilities. It's nothing like that. It's just something to emphasize on the fact that you have to toy around with it. You have to make it as it is. It's not going to be a natural drop. So if I showed you one of my formulas that I made, talk about like Guardian Seal, for example, getting a bunch of other abilities like Epifactor, Returner 5, and Crack 5. Most of these fodder pieces right here, you need to manipulate it. The one that you don't manipulate is the one that's in fodder 5, which has Soul Receptor, Factor Receptor, and Adjunct A, because it drops like that. It's a natural drop. Everything else, though, you need to manipulate it, because you can't normally find something that has an Astral Soul, Mana Rev, and Epifactor together. No, that's something you personally made and combined to get that. Same can be said with Absolute Glare with a Crack 4. Crack 4 with a Returner 4. All of these you toyed around with personally. Now maybe later in the game they will have them drop as a natural drop by doing a bunch of quests. But for now, that is not a thing, and guess what? You have to manipulate it. You have to know how to get these things, which is why I'm giving a bunch of breakdowns now, talking about these very specific abilities in themselves, like how to toy around with basic enhancement, how to increase those percentages, talk about how to make absolute glares, like, or the glare abilities, or the factor abilities by itself. Some of them that I just list aren't a thing yet, but I will get around to it. It's just that when it comes to you making some of these pieces, you have to literally make them, just because it's not a natural drop by itself. So if you wanted something like a Crack 5, guess what? You have to work your way up. You have to manipulate fodder pieces so you can get to a Crack 5. I already talked about how you can manipulate Crack 5 abilities and Veteran Resolve abilities. You can look in the description for that. So overall, that's what I mean when I say you want to manipulate. You are combining, you are making these various affixes. Now, some of them is going to be easy. Some of them are going to be hard. Some of them is going to require some brain power. Some of them it's not, because it's dummy easy. You will need to figure out what you need to do. Now, you can use Affixing Assistant. It is another website that goes into a breakdown on how to go about fixing, but I would say avoid that if you are still new to affixing and you want to understand how these things work. Now, if you really don't care and you want to do whatever you want to do and you want to use Affixing Assistant, go ahead, but you want to understand how this works, because if there's something that happens in your affix, you want to understand what and how you can actually tackle that. For example, you realize, or if you've seen my video where I made my Guardian Soul, I realized that I did a fucking screw up. And I was able to at least manipulate it to the point where it's like, okay, this is how I can resolve this. This is how I can approach this. This is how I can try to go for my final product still. But that's because I have the knowledge to do these affixes. It's been a good 5 to 6 years that I've been doing this sort of process. I memorized a good chunk of these formulas and these percentages. Do you have to go out of your way to memorize these? No, but know some of the basics, like the fact that 3 abilities tend to give you a huge percent chance. Making sure that, you don't want to upslot as much, because there will be a penalty that kicks in that might screw you over when it comes to you going for higher slot numbers. When it comes to SAF, you want to understand that that is 100% transferable, and sometimes you want to finalize it so it can help you with the end goal, like getting a mana reverie. And then there's other times like ability transfer process and how that's stupidly OP, and you can easily go to a certain slot number without going through the upslot penalty. There's so many things you need to know, but this is entirely up to you, and you need to figure out how you want to approach this. If you want help, you want me to make a bunch of videos talking about how to go about fixing, then I will provide you this knowledge. Now, I'm not going to tell you every little snippet, because I do have some secrets I cannot share. But I'll give you guys most of the information, and you guys can use that to your advantage to do what you need to do. Some of you guys have already been capitalizing on the stuff that I have said, and hell, even if I don't say it personally, you guys can look at these videos and figure out like, oh, I could actually do something with this. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of details. You can message me if you want. I do have a Discord and a Discord server. You can look in the description for that, but that is it for this video. I just want to emphasize on this word because I realized I never explained what it is. And I don't think a bunch of other videos explain the term manipulate. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put it down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.